like to welcome you to the Effort After Matrimony.
Hashtag team.
All right, guys. So we have a very special guest today. We have none other than
Ebony. Hello.
Yes, we are here today. We have a very interesting topic. You guys already know we're all about marriage, what it takes to be married, the effort it takes
To put into a marriage.
Yes, thank you for finishing my sentence. He does it often. Anyhow, we're going to talk about perceptions of marriage. What was it like growing up? What was your idea of marriage? What is your ideal wedding? Or what did you see or foresee marriage to be like based off of what you or how you grew up? So that's what we're going to talk about today. We have a few questions we are going to dive into, and we're all going to answer those questions. And if you guys have any feedback at all, please go ahead and drop them in the comments, and we'll be sure to address them. So let's jump right into it.
Well, we're going to ask a few questions, and it's going to be coming from a marriage point of view and someone who's not married point of view. First question is going to be, growing up as a kid/teen, what was your perspective on marriage?
We'll have you go ahead and start.
Okay. I didn't have a perspective as far as like marriage as a child. Marriage wasn't around. All I seen was a whole bunch of strong black women, but just strong black women. And then the man that was around was bums. So,
You said what?
bums.
Okay.
And not bums like broke. Like, because bum is a mentality. You don't want to do better. You're not trying to do anything to help your life or anything like that. So it's not just about the financial. Just you got a terrible mentality.
Okay. So for me, my perception of marriage was growing old together. I'll just put it that way. It's just two people who, have the same understanding, want to be in a relationship, just doing right by each other. Growing up, my mom was married, but when I looked at a marriage as a kid, I'm like, people don't see what goes on behind closed doors. It's a lot of fighting, a lot of throwing of things and punches and fists and all types of crazy stuff. So that was my perception of marriage. Like, it was just, fighting, constant arguing. You're good one day, down the next. But yeah, that's the only, my mom's relationship was the only idea I saw as of marriage. So that was it for me. What about for you?
For me, mine was different. Well, I grew up in the house with my mom. She wasn't married, but my take on marriage, I always wanted to be married, and I knew that when I seen a lot of people that were married and a lot of people that weren't married, and I knew I just didn't want to be that guy that wasn't just wasn't married. I always wanted to be married and have a family and just be there for my kids. I always thought about I couldn't have kids and I wasn't going to be there with them 24/7. That was my take on marriage.
Yeah, that's cool. So the next question I have, and we do got a little cheat sheet. My next question, or the next question is, what do you expect marriage to be like? And I'll go ahead and start with you.
It's changed a lot over the years, but I think now I expect a partner, someone that we're constantly growing with each other, and like, cause I notice every year or every couple of years I'm changing. Like, my mindset isn't the same, and I want somebody to grow with and change with. Like, somebody's willing to fight with me, not fight. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But go through it.
Put the work in with you.
Yeah. Okay, that's cool. What I expect marriage to be like, honestly, I didn't have an expectation. Because as I said before, I only see one side of it. I don't see what goes on behind closed door at, those conversations late at night or, but for me, like, as far as expectation, I learned a lot, like, in the last 7 so years. So I just really expect, for a husband and wife to really be on the same page. Like, when it comes to, especially if you have kids, when it comes to raising your kid, like, you're on the same page. It's not, the husband wants to raise the kids a certain way or the wife wants to raise the kid a certain way. It's like, no, we both have an understanding of how we want to raise, or not even just kids, but like finances. How are we going to manage our money? Just, that's what I expect marriage to be. Like, you know, both parties are on one page, and, you know, you're not going to agree on everything, but as long as, you know, you agree to disagree, whatever that means, but you have an understanding. That's really what I expect marriage to be like. It's just two people having an understanding of how they want to live their life.
Mm-hmm.
For me, what did I expect marriage to be like? I really didn't expect it to be like nothing, because I always wanted to be married, but I just, you know, you grow up watching these movies and you see this Hollywood relationship marriage. I always be like, okay, that's just a fantasy right there. That is nothing what reality is going to be like, because you grow up, like I seen like a lot of my friends, like the ones that had moms and dads that were married. I seen the bad parts of it. I come to the house, knock on the friend's door and see them arguing, and I knew that was reality. That was how you would expect a marriage. Not all marriages are arguments, but you see a lot of disagreements, but it get tense.
Mm-hmm. Very tense. I've experienced it. Yeah. So the next question, as far as marriage, when it comes to marriage, what did you grow up seeing, and how does it affect your perception?
I didn't see a lot of marriage, but I did see a lot of like relationships and stuff like that, situationships and stuff. That's been around for a long time. We just made it a word out of it.
But it has been, no, for real.
Yeah.
And for those of you who don't understand what a situationship is two people been together. They started out 18, boyfriend and girlfriend, and they 56 and now married. They just in a situation. Or on the flip side, we just together and it's not even a relationship. It's just
no title.
It's
title.
no title to it. We're just in a situation together.
And a lot of people come up with excuses not to just be married. Like, okay, I gotta file my taxes with her. Nah, I'd rather just be in a relationship with her.
Hey, on a side note, for those who are single, think about that, because I've been trying to find some loopholes with these taxes. Side note. Anyhow, listen, taxes hit a lot different when you're single, okay?
Oh my God.
But sorry, no, go ahead. What did you see growing up, and how does it affect your perception now?
Okay, yeah. So, like, I've seen a lot of that, like the situationships and stuff like that. But I've seen a lot of, you know, cheating and all that type of stuff. So I've always, like, I wanted to be married, but I always was afraid that because of what I've seen, that I would never have that. Like, I would never have what I actually wanted in a relationship. Like, somebody to be loyal to me, not cheat on me, not have babies on me, not do all this other type of stuff. Because I've seen a lot of triflingness going on. Like, to where, I'm being honest. Like,
no,
I've seen a lot of scheming and stuff going on to where I was like, I want that. I don't want that. But I want love, genuine love, and somebody to, like, seriously be with me for me and not no nonsense. But I just felt like it was unlikely. And then, because as I got older, I got introduced to men like that. Cheaters, liars, doing all this extra stuff. So I'm like, I don't know. So I think that sort of carried over as an adult in a sense.
Okay. So how does it affect you now?
It affects me now a little differently because I do believe that there are good men out there. I just feel like I ain't ran into them just yet. I mean, maybe, but not. I don't know. Maybe I caught him on the wrong day. But I think that, I don't know. I feel like it affects me. I have up and down days. I have days where I'm like, you know what? I think there is hope for love. And then I have days where I'm like,
No.
Why is it when it comes to like the days you like, what makes you go there?
Sometimes just seeing, honestly, to be honest, I don't know. I think, I don't know if it's like the past, when I think about the past, or when I talk to somebody and what they're going through in their relationship, or it's during a time, like, for instance, like, I give somebody new a chance, and then I get to see that they're not really from heaven. You know what I'm talking about? When everybody's sent from heaven when you first meet them, and then here comes the devil. So I don't know. Like, I think it's usually around that time. And then it's always like some extra backstories that you be like, dang, like, well, you should have came with a disclaimer.
Listen.
Like, people are not honest nowadays. Everybody wants to fit a facade, and that's like, it's frustrating.
You know, I definitely can relate to that, because if I were to answer that question, I did see a lot of, cheating and, having a whole nother family on the side, and or a girl, and women are, I don't know, oblivious to the fact. I don't understand, but trust is very big for me as well. Like, because I've seen so much infidelity and so much cheating and all these side families and side women and all this crazy stuff. I'm very skeptical. So like for me, like growing up seeing that, and even in movies, like we'll see a good movie and it's just crazy people in this world, like people who just really like take other people's men for fun, like. But seeing that and really wanting something for my own self, it's just like what do I do? I remember like even up until the day before I married him in our very last counseling session, I was just like, I just don't know. Like marriage it's a big commitment and you have to be very vulnerable to take that risk.
You got to be willing to put in that work.
Yes, the effort. That's a little plug. You got to put in the effort. But it's scary. If I can be very honest, I was like, Lord, I don't know. Like, I love him, I want to be with him, but I don't want my heart to be broke. I don't want to look like a fool. Forget looking like a fool. I just don't want to be hurt. If somebody hurts you, you can get over it, but it's just, I don't want to waste my time. So I was very skeptical when it comes to marriage, but y'all, thanks be to God, some godly counsel really helped, and just me really putting my trust in God, because what I understood is like people can do wrong all day long, but I was like, you know what, God, I put my trust in you. I believe that you got my heart. I believe you're gonna keep this man safe and sane, that he don't go out and do nothing crazy, because it's gonna be a missing body.
I think coming from the man point of view is, I think I could be honest about it. Like, we all felt the same way before that day coming up to marriage. Like, I just don't want to get hurt. Nobody wants to get hurt. Nobody wants to be in a loop where they got questions going through their head. Like, is this person doing this? Is they doing that? Why are they taking this long to call me back? Why are they taking this long to come to the house? Things run through your mind. You just don't want to get hurt as a person. So for me, answer the question, what did I see growing up? I seen a lot, like everybody said, I could agree to it. I seen a lot of people want to be players, cheaters, and people having two different relationships, and both parties are mutual on cheating on each other. My thing is, if you're gonna both cheat, you might as well be single and just do your thing with each other.
Foolery. And
I see a lot of men, I don't get it, like the men's in my generation and the generation before us and before them, a lot of them, I feel like they have something they want to prove to people, like, I'm still the man. When you being a married man, you still could be the man. You could be the man in your house. You could be the man in your marriage. You the man. You got it going on. A lot of people want to see a strong man taking care of his family, and I just didn't understand why people wanted to be players and they're scared of marriage or just scared to be in a relationship to be committed. I don't get it. That's what I seen growing up.
And just to really tie this all up, being in a partnership, a marriage, it's truly rewarding. There is no, when it comes to a relationship, like, it's like the ultimate goal. When we first started dating, he put the status on Instagram. I was just like, what? Like, we was dating for like a month or something. And he was like, the status said, if marriage
ain't the goal, then why are we together?
If marriage isn't the end goal, why are we together? And I was just like,
that's making sense.
Subliminals?
Nah. I was like, okay. I said, Lord, is it? Anyhow, no, but seriously, seeing that and really having that conversation with him and just really maturing. It's like, what's the point of being in a relationship with someone if you're not going to continue to the end goal, you know, which is marriage? And when you get married, that's really not the end. Like, honestly, that's when the work really begins. Because you can be in a relationship with somebody for 5 years, but as soon as you say I do, I don't know if it's just a switch or
That's
something.
when the blessing comes in.
The blessing
a lot of
does
people don't
come in.
understand, if you're in a relationship for 30 years and you feel like you don't have to be married, you're missing out on your blessing. That blessing comes when you propose to the woman you love and she's able to fully cover you. You're able to fully cover her. You're
Yes.
missing out on your blessing.
It's a lot of spiritual blessings, a lot of natural blessings when it comes to, you know, the Bible speaks of that. You know, the Bible says, when he that findeth a wife findeth a good thing. Yes, he did. No lie. In addition to that, there is a lot of mutual blessings that we receive from one another. When you finally say I do, you really find you that person just becomes you and you become them. So it's really a beautiful thing. There's really truly many blessings when it comes to being married. Taxes aside.
That's not a big deal.
It's not. But I like to keep money in my pockets.
Speaking on relationships and marriage, why do you feel that so many people runs away from marriage and commitment?
I think like it sort of goes by what you said, like as far as like the hurt thing, because it's easy to have sex with somebody or just to be dealing with somebody but not have no full commitment to them. Like, it's easy to do that because once your feelings get involved, things change completely. Even a simple status on Facebook, like, what you mean by that? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
No,
everything changes more in depth. So it's easier to go down that route. And then, and then also, like, I mean, there's women like this too, but in a man's perspective, they like variety. They don't like to sit down and be cool with one person. And women, there's some women like that too that like variety, like to date like a whole bunch of men and stuff like that. I mean, I think that's really what it is. It's the fact that people are afraid of getting hurt, and also people are just full of it. I mean, that's another thing too. Some people are selfish. Like, I've had people from my past that didn't necessarily want the relationship, but they didn't want me to date anybody else. I had to cut that off because that's stupid. But it's like, you don't want me, but you want me.
You don't want to be committed, but you want me to be committed.
Yeah, like you want me to be fully committed, and then, you still doing you. And no, it don't work like that.
Yeah. I mean, for me, when I think about, the reasons why people don't want to be committed or don't want to, being marriages, they're comfortable. They don't feel like they have to do more. And a lot of people, nowadays are like that. Like, why put a title up? People are big on, I don't need a title,
Labels.
Yeah, labels. Oh, don't label me. Don't put me in a category. But I mean, if you're with somebody, like, what I don't understand is people who have been together for 15, 10, or 5 years. And I'm just like, okay, y'all not married? What y'all doing?
What are your goals?
What no goals? No life mission? I mean, you know if you want to spend the rest of your life with somebody. You may not know in 3 months or 6 months or a year, but it's not going to take you 5 years to figure that out. Mm-hmm. Especially if you're spending all day long with a person. Like, you're knowing their ins and outs. You're knowing the seasons they're in. You know what they're like. You know a woman, what she's like on her period. You know her on her worst day. Like, if you want to spend the rest of your life with this person. What's the holdback? What's the drawback? For me, y'all, I didn't know until the day of or the day before. But I knew, I was reluctant up until the day before because of that piece where I just didn't want to be hurt. And I just wanted to be sure. I'm the type of person, I just need that extra confirmation from God before I can just jump all in and give my heart. But it was nothing for me to say, yes, I do. Because I love, when you love a person and you feel like this person is going to grow and mature into, something that's unimaginable, or not even excuse me, it, you just know, you know when you know that you want to spend, you know, the rest of your life with somebody. You just know. There's that feeling inside. You know that ultimately they're a good person. You know that you guys can grow together. You know, you can work, you can go through some storms. You can weather some storms together. So it's not going to take you 15 years to figure that out.
Yeah. I think you can still say what you said, like unimaginable, because you don't know the future. You don't necessarily know how things are going to turn out, because it could have been perfect in the beginning leading up to the marriage, and things could have flipped the script completely, because you don't know. Mm-hmm. Regardless if you know them, you still don't know.
Yes.
And something like a light switch could go off. I'm not a light switch, but a switch could go off from, like, it's a lot of stuff that happens in our childhood that sometimes it comes out later on in your life. And so that could cause things to change. So that's a
major role.
Yeah.
So and that I mean, all of what you said really happened to me. It's like I like to know, like, and this is my biggest downfall. Like, I like to know what to expect.
That's me too.
And I want to know, like, if you're going to cheat on me, I just want to know. Or if you're going to hurt me, I just want to know you're going to hurt me so I could be prepared. I could be ready.
Why be prepared for something?
It's crazy. Yeah, it's crazy, weird. But that's just me.
Stuff out of beyond your control.
Yeah. And I think that's my drawback. Like, when you say I do, when you commit to somebody, like, what they do is out of your control. You can't control them. So that's like the scariest thing. Like, you can't say, like, I mean, I can't say it, but he has a mind of his own. He's gonna do what he want to do anyhow. But you know, that was hard. So if I could answer this question, sorry y'all, it took me 20 minutes to get here. If I could answer this question, what I think, you know, really holds people back from committing is just the fact that it's uncertainty. Mm-hmm. Uncertainty.
I think, to be honest, I really think a lot of people don't want nobody to answer to. Being single is really easy, and you don't have to wake up and answer to nobody. You can stay out all night and not answer to nobody but you and God, especially when you're an adult. I think a lot of men, I could answer for the men, a lot of men want to be that guy that have many women, and they just feel, like I said, they feel like they got something to prove to other people that they're the man. Like, I can have all these women and do my thing, but at the end of the day, they're a lonely man because they're going home by themselves. At the end of the day, they could go home with a woman, but at the end of the day, they're by themselves.
Mm-hmm. Their soul is alone, heart dry, empty. Sad day. Telling you. Marriage.
I feel bad for my little soul and heart. You know, it's dry. It's been malnourished.
No. When the time is right.
I'm just kidding.
When the time is right. Because, y'all, to be honest, like, before me and Sean got serious, it was the best time of my life. Being single is truly a blessing in being single. But the blessings are even greater when you're married. Like, when I was single, especially like in my relationship with God, it was really the best time of my life. Like, I ain't had no kids, you know, it was just, I could do what I want. Like he said, like, I could do what I want, you know, I didn't have to answer to nobody. I could do whatever. Like, I didn't have to like run or give him a play-by-play of what I wanted to do. I could just make decisions. It was just me and God. So being single is really, it's really a good time to get to know yourself, because what you don't want to do is being unsure of who you are and jump in a relationship
and get yourself hurt.
You'll get hurt because you'll invest yourself into this one person, or, you know, into their vision, and years down the line you realize that you don't have an identity. So I think that's why I said, like, being single right before we got together and me spending that time alone, it really helped me find my identity, find out who I am, what I want in life, what I want to pursue, you know? So when I did get married, like, I was ready and I was prepared because I knew who I was. I knew who I wanted to support. I know what my boundaries were. So that's why I said being single is really a really good time. And for those single people who are watching, let me tell you, enjoy yourself. Because once they put a ring on it, you're never alone. You can't do nothing by yourself. And not that it's a bad thing. Don't get me wrong. Being married being married is great. But when you're single, you have freedom, you have independence. And not to say that you don't have it in your marriage, but you have to be mindful of the next person. And you can't be selfish. You have to be considerate in everything that you do, because you're not really just living your own life for yourself. You're living it for your family or your spouse or whatever your circumstance.
To chime in on that, yeah, being single was, for me, it was fun, but everybody know me. I used to show up to the gathering solo bolo. I never brung nobody with me. I was just solo bolo. Even my sister mom, when I brung Shiwan to my little sister's birthday party, she was like, "Oh, you brung somebody with you? Normally you just solo bolo." They knew that I was serious about being in a relationship and getting to know somebody. Because normally when I pull up, I'm telling you guys, I was solo bolo. I would go to the movies by myself. I would just go for a long drive by myself and just pop up on people, because that was just me in my single life, and I would just enjoy that time. Like she said, enjoy that time, because when you together, it's gonna be you and her, or you and him, and it's fun though. Like me and my wife, before we had kids, we used to go on drives. We'd go to the river, ocean. Sit in front of somebody's house and just talk for like 3 hours.
Pull up and say, being married is really, really fun. But anyhow, let's take it to you. What is it like being single? What do you do now for fun, or what are you looking forward to doing?
What I do now for fun is I entertain my business. That's what I've been like really diving into more than anything, is my business. Finding different ways to perfect it, and I mean, of course it's not going to be perfect, but to get better at it. That's what I've mainly been doing in my spare time. But I mean, coming from a single person's perspective, I feel what you guys are saying, like it's a good time to like get to know yourself and do all that, blase. But it's been like 5 years for me. So I'm kind of past that already. I'm trying to go into Walmart by myself. You know what I'm saying? I want to go to the movies. I want to do like, I'm just saying, like, it's like there is a point in your life where you kind of do need that time by yourself to figure stuff out, to get to a better place. Because even in this single time I'm not gonna lie, I went through different stages and I have learned a lot about myself. Mm-hmm. But I feel like I'm kind of at a time where I think I am ready in a sense. But I just feel like I don't know if I'm ready. Like I have, it's mixed emotions, because I feel like I need to resolve certain things within myself. But then I also feel like I do feel like I'm ready, but I'm like, I don't know. It's like it's weird.
Yeah, I totally get it, because I was in that place too as well. But to you and to those who are watching, you mentioned, like, you know, there's still things in your past that, you know, I'm going to tell you this. It was so crazy, because I went through something last year, and it was just like the after effect of what happened to me in my teenage years. Mm-hmm. And it really didn't come, I really couldn't deal with it until I was in my marriage. Like, mm-hmm. I couldn't fully process and, like, go through and be delivered from it until, like, we was married like 4 years, going into our fifth year of marriage. Mm-hmm. And so don't let that hold you back, keep you on that, you know, that fence, like, oh, I still have stuff to be resolved. God is all knowing, and He knows when we need to go through and acknowledge certain things in our past. Not saying that you shouldn't acknowledge it or try mm-hmm. to, you know, overcome it now, but just to really, you know, pinpoint that, what you said, God will help you through that. Mm-hmm. And really, you know, I tell anybody this, like, really, trust God. God knows when the timing is right. You ain't got to do nothing. You know, God will just allow it to fall into place as He did for us. Like, things just really worked out, and God knows what He's doing. Don't try to go out there and play God yourself, you know, because...
Oh, yeah, I'm not doing that.
Things will not work out. I promise you, it will not work out. But I believe God has someone for everyone, and I feel like if you
go ahead, I'll say my piece and you done.
If you're feeling impatient really go to God. Like you just said, it's been 5 years. Like, no, I'm being so for real. Like, go to God. Like, okay, God.
What do you have for me? But be careful what you pray for.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't feel like I'm being impatient because I'm not like in a huge rush, but I do because I know some reasons why I'm single. For one, I don't really put myself out there in a sense, so I know that. But when you said, I always hesitate when they say that there's always somebody for somebody, because I know a lot of older single women, and like I don't know, even though that's their story, that's their life, but it's kind of like if there's someone for everybody, then why is there so many single women?
To answer that, because women choose to be single.
Some of them rather.
I'm not saying like I know. I mean, I'm not saying that they're not single, because I'm not saying like women, like we have to be women or men or something like that. Like we have to be chosen by somebody. But I'm saying like as far as I don't think. I mean, there may be some people who just don't want to be in a relationship whatsoever. But I do feel like. I mean, dang, what was I getting at? I do feel like sometimes I don't think some people are meant to be in a relationship. Like, I don't know. Do you think that's possible? Because I don't know. Like, for instance, even I could just go back and think. I'm not gonna say I don't think I'm capable of being in a relationship, but I just go back and think about like dudes that I've dated in my past. Like everybody would say, "Oh, Ebony's this way," or "She's this way." She's crazy. I'm not crazy. I'm not crazy. Okay. But they'll say this, but no one's trying to figure out why am I this way? Mm-hmm. Like, why does she think like that? Why does she do these type of things? And I feel like you're not gonna meet, because like just like everybody, I know people that have no friends, like just get outside of relationships. Some people that have no friends or no family, and it's like you can be around people. I don't know. It's like I don't know if it's like the personality, the compatibility, stuff like that. I don't know if there really is somebody for everybody. Like, is that person like in New York and we here? Like, where? Like, how does that really mean? Like, like where were they placed at? Do you have like you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do, and I don't think you should like necessarily like worry about like where in location is this person for this person.
Yeah.
My thing is, if you think about it, even if you're not a spiritual person and you don't believe in God, and, if you're just totally just, don't believe in any type of system at all. Mm-hmm. I believe that God made man for woman and woman for man. Mm-hmm. And we are all proof of that. We all have a mother and father. That's how we got into the world. Before all of this, let's really just try to think back, before 2020 or before the 1900s, just really from what we know in history, like how men and women came about. Like there was a man and there was a woman, they got married, they lived. So much has happened over the hundreds and thousands of years where things are screwed up and people are stepping outside of relationship and marriage. If you think about back in the day, let's really go back to the last 100 years. In the 1900s, what did people do? They got married, had a family, and did what they did. Raised their kids. We hear about successful stories where men and women got together, had kids, and lived a happy life. That's not the case for everybody, because I'm sure there were divorces and people put people away. But if we could really just go back in the last 100 years, there are successful stories. People lived in the same community, grew up together, got married, lived a happy life. When it comes to, is there somebody for everybody? Just because you haven't experienced that person or that person isn't in your realm of people that you deal with on a day-to-day basis, doesn't mean that they're not in close proximity or in close location. I'm from a whole totally different country. He's from Sacramento, California. I never in a million years would think that I would find my husband in Sacramento. We grew up in Sacramento, opposite sides of town. Mm-hmm. How did I meet him? God ordained, so crazy, God ordained it to happen. My mom went to this church. His mom didn't even go to you guys just got to the church a few years? How much, like 5?
We've been there for a while. We've been there because we was in a new building. We've been there for a while.
They've been there for a while. But what I'm trying to say is, I'm from however thousands of miles. And God really ordained it to happen where, you know, my mom went to this church and then I went and then we met and it turned into something. Even when we met, I never...
It didn't turn into nothing yet.
Eventually, down the line, it turned into something. Even when we met, you know, I didn't know. I didn't know. Mm-hmm. He was cool. We were friends. So I didn't, like, if I really look back at it, I chime in. Like, when we look back at it, we were just friends. Like, we were in a relationship. We bonded over being in long distance relationships.
Yeah, we did.
We were friends, like, truly, honestly, because I was in a relationship, in a serious relationship. He was in a relationship. And we talked about how, you know, because we went to the same church and, you know, we talked. And so that's how it happened. Like, our story wasn't just, you know, picture perfect. Like, we went through some things. We were separated for a while, which, a whole nother story. But we were separated. Like, we didn't know this would happen. But glory to God. Like, it turned into something beautiful. So there is somebody for everybody. And to those, because I know a lot of older women who are still single, I honestly believe it's their choice to be single. Because I could very well be single right now. I could very well. I could have held on to the grudge and the disrespect, quote unquote. Y'all, he burped in my ear and I was mad. I could have held on to that.
It wasn't no burp in your
Anyhow, we're not going to visit that because y'all can still tell there's a little bit of he said, she said.
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
But just to really wrap this up, I think that older women just choose. Like, you really choose. Because I feel like God is not a God that he should lie. I mean, he's not a man that he should lie. Y'all theologians out there. Anyhow, he really, like he ordained us to be together with one individual.
I think I see. I get what you mean now. You're basically saying choosing to be single is meaning to not change your ways. Like, if I choose to continue the path that I'm doing, like not going out. Okay, I get what you're saying now.
Yeah.
I thought you meant like they're like, like I don't want a man. Like, not like that. I don't think it's like that. Like, because I know, for instance, I'm someone who's single and I want to change that eventually. So I have to do something different. Start being outside, smiling more, being more social, making myself approachable, which I don't think I have, because sometimes people look at me, I look the other way quick.
But to be honest, some men don't even care about the approachable. They're going to try anyways.
And then be the wrong ones.
Sometimes they do be the wrong ones, but sometimes they don't. Sometimes they be like, let me make her smile. She probably having a bad day.
Yeah.
You never know, because sometimes the dude just be like, hey, you not smiling? Smile for me. And then next thing you know, it just goes from there.
Them be the ones. Them be the ones. Them be
See,
the worst ones.
You go in there, they be the worst ones. You never know. They might be the right one.
No, I'm telling you, I'm saying the reason I'm saying that is because I've given dudes like that chances. Because
Really?
I'm walking around not smiling, and they're like, "What's up?" I'm like, "Nothing." Like, okay, like, no, come here, let me talk to you. Like, okay, I'll talk to them, and then
No.
crazy.
You know, and you said, you know, going out and changing, change, but don't like go out and find.
I'm not looking at.
Okay,
I'm not
cool,
looking.
cool,
I'm not
cool.
looking to be out there like looking for no dude like that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying, like, as far as, I mean, in order for somebody, because I mean, just like how women are shy, men are shy. It takes a lot of courage for them to come up to us too. So
That's true.
I'm saying, like, I know, and in my end, I know what I've been doing, because I'm telling you, like, you look me in the eye, look.
You good for that, because I've seen that look in your eye. You're like, ooh, no, okay. No, but yes, really, just to wrap this up, we really wanted to have this conversation. It's super important for those of you who are single, or I mean, even some of you who are married, to really think about, you know, your perception on marriage, because your perception really dictates your behavior.
And what you seen growing up shows in your marriage and
Yes.
shows in your relationships.
Yes. So subconsciously, what you perceive marriage to be like is how you'll act and what you'll expect from the next person. And we have this conversation all the time. Like, I'll expect something from him and never communicate that with him. And we'll have all these arguments about something he has no idea I'm expecting him to do. So it's really key for you to really understand, you know, what your expectations are, and to really tell your spouse or tell the person you're in a relationship with, you know, what you expect from them. That's a conversation that is super, super important to have when you want to jump into, you know, the I do's, when you want to put in that work, the effort that it takes to be married. You have to have that conversation. You know, this is what I saw growing up. You know, what did you see? Or this is what I expect. What do you expect? These conversations are very important for a very successful relationship, for a very successful marriage, for a very successful partnership. You have to sit down and have these conversations.
And to end this video and this time, we like to thank Ebony for joining us. And we would like to give her a chance to give out her Instagram, Facebook, to promote her business.
Okay, so my Instagram name is Essence of Ebony Hair. That is my business one. My personal is Essence of Ebony with 2 Y's at the end. Then my Facebook is Ebony Thomas. I got a few of them, but yeah.
Do you have any encouraging words to say to those who haven't waited yet and are getting impatient?
I just really just think, like, work on yourself in the time being. I mean, because that's what I've been doing in this time, is working on myself and not getting so caught up in it. Like I said, I've been investing myself in my business, building relationships with my family, and, just basically staying positive. And right now I really am trying to work on my relationship with God mainly.
Yeah. So thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Stay tuned to more The Effort After Matrimony.
#team. Peace out.
Bye.